As many of you know, Morpholio Trace is one of my favorite tools to be using right now for the early stages of the design process. And since this app has become such an important process for me in terms of my workflow, I thought I would just share with you all why exactly that is and what specifically about the application makes it so great to use for me. So if you've never used or even heard of Morpholio before, or you just want to learn a little bit more about my process, be sure to stick around to the end because there's a lot of great little topics within this video. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now, the number one reason why I love Morpholio is because of the tool set that it has built into the app. Because as all of you know who are designers, who are drafting, you need a lot of tools. You're gonna need a lot of different instruments. You need rulers, trace paper, scale bars, triangles, circle templates, and all these other tools to normally carry out your typical drawing needs and functions. So with that in mind, Morpholio Trace for me is the only app that I've found so far that takes all of those things that we as architects use and need on a daily basis and bottles it all up and puts it into an app for us to use. So this allows me to have the same potential for drafting and drawing as I would if I was at a studio, except now it's in the palm of my hand essentially, and I can bring it anywhere. Which is huge because, as you know, space is not only a royalty, but it's also a requirement to have a lot of space oftentimes to be able to do some of those drawings that you're doing in a studio. But specifically in terms of what application tools I like the most, I like some of the ones that are actually more like Photoshop. I like the layers, I really like the smart ruler, I really like the hatching that you can do, and then I really love the selection edit tool that they have in there. What these few tools allow me to do is they allow me to not only draw very quickly and very effectively, but they also just allow me to pump out multiple iterations of drawings very quickly, and they're all in the same place, different layers, different tabs. It's just really great for the workflow and just really speeds up and makes the process for me more enjoyable, which is the biggest thing for me when I am trying to get over the hurdle of drawing by hand. Now, the second reason why I love using Morpholio is the stencils library. For those of you who don't know, think of the stencils library as having your own personal templates for literally whatever you could think of in terms of drawing. So for me, I like to have stencils that are things that I'm drawing a lot. So things like trees, shrubs, people, furnishings, cars, those sort of things. If I can have stencils of those are really awesome. Because what this allows you to do is it allows you to draw something one time very detailed or to your specific liking, and then you can essentially save it and stamp it on into any other drawing. You can modify it from there. It's just a really great workflow tool to have to use in your arsenal. And one of the kind of snowball effects of building up this library for you is that you can then start to draw a little bit faster. Your drawings will also have just a little bit more consistency to them since they all started to look the same. They have the same kind of look and feel. And one of the best reasons I would say is since you get to focus a little bit less on the actual representation and how it's kind of interpreted, you get to actually focus more on, the spatial relationships and the actual design instead of worrying so much about trying to make it look good. I think for me, this alone is probably one of the coolest things that I've discovered so far in my drawing journey. And the last reason why I really love using this app is actually for the precision and measurement tools that are built into the app. Because at the moment, this is something that's totally exclusive to all the apps out there for drawing, and it's something that really sets it apart as an architect. Because what Morpholio allows you to do is it lets you create or bring in two scale models that you can then dimension and properly proportion of, which can be a critical part of your drawing process because it can keep you grounded, it can let you check your spaces, it can keep you from getting too far out of the realm of possibility when you are starting to sketch your concepts and starting to move that towards a little bit more of a refined idea. And then on top of it, to kind of hit home on this point, you're then able to export it to scale at whatever size you want, and it will scale to fit, just like if you're doing a CAD export or something like that. So essentially, this app actually allows you to be able to make a drawing set with PDFs as if you were making a CAD documentation set. You could export all 24 by 36. They could be 30 scale drawings, A scale drawings, you have details. All those things can be this complete package. It's all within Morpholio Trace. And that's just one side of that feature that I like to use. I also really like to use it for my documentation process. I love to bring in the PDFs, redline over them, do dimensions over them. It just makes the process of redlining way more interesting and a lot more fun than doing it on Bluebeam on the computer. So really for me, the take-home point here is that Morpholio Trace is kind of the all-in-one tool right now for drawing applications as a landscape architect. There's no other program that buckets so much of your normal day-to-day process into one application to use. So if you are looking for an app that can give you all of that in one place, I would definitely suggest at least trying out Morpholio for some sort of time to see if you like it. But those are my 3 favorite reasons why I love using Morpholio. So I hope you learned a little bit about Morpholio and just my general design process and thinking. And of course, if you want to learn more about the app, I have a couple videos already covering Morpholio Trace, and I definitely will be having more coming soon, so check that out if you're interested. Anyways, that's all for today's video, so thank you all for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe for more landscape architecture content. All right, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.